Coming back from the international break, the main headline for this game would be that Leao would be on the bench. And Fonseca said earlier this week in a press conference that he doesn't give an F about who the player is. Everybody has to play their role, and if there is a problem, he will confront them. So that comment did definitely raise a lot of eyebrows coming into this game. However, I actually like this about Fonseca, someone who's an authoritative figure and has demands for his players with a strong personality as well. When the lineups did come out though, we saw that Pulisic would be playing that number 10 position, Chukwueze would be given a shot at that right wing position, and Noah Okafor replaces Rafa Leao after playing 2 games with Portugal during the international break. We also saw a brand new back line in this game. We saw Tereciano get the nod over Jimenez at that left back spot, replacing Theo Hernandez for his red card. We saw Pavlovic getting a shot because of Gabia getting injured last second, and Malik Thiaw, which was I think the surprise that everyone saw, getting a shot, which I was surprised, but I wasn't upset because I get why Fonseca did that. 2 big center backs, Malik Thiaw and Pavlovic, being an aerial presence in the defense, winning headers and such against a tall Udinese team. So I wasn't hating it, and of course what I liked was that Mike Maignan got the captain's armband. And of course, in my progress report video, I was saying either Gabia or Mike Maignan should be the captain, and I was pleasantly surprised that Mike Maignan got the captain's armband. And a fun little stat for you guys, Mike Maignan was the only player in this Milan starting 11 to have won the Scudetto from that season. So I just thought it was an interesting fact because everybody was kind of on the bench who won the Scudetto other than Mike. So I think we're kind of going in a direction where it's a new era in Milan, and Mike Maignan could be the pillar of it. And early on, Milan were a threat in the early stages of the game, and after so much news surrounding Samuel Chukwueze on social media and in the papers, he got a well-taken goal. And I just think it's funny that the switch up of these fans is just crazy in my opinion, because they were clowning and hating on Chukwueze and saying that the management failed and overpaid for someone like him because of that one miss versus Fiorentina, and the same exact fans who said that are now praising him. So I think just overall, we just have to back our players no matter what. And similarly to Fofana, a lot of fans criticizing the management for getting this deal super late and we paid too much money for him. And they wanted him not gone, but just benched. Just after 3 games, they gave up on him. And all he needed was just some time. And now we're starting to see the benefits of that, seeing the instructions given by Fonseca, and now we're starting to see Fofana playing at a top level. Someone who's been consistent all season is Pulisic, and this guy is just such a great example of what a player should do and is highlighted a lot by the coach, and he does all the right things for the team, which has been a huge emphasis by Fonseca, and it's kind of created an expectation for the players by the coach. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, the red card. For me, this was never, ever a red card. You can clearly see that Reinders does not touch him at all. The Udinese attacker clearly trips over himself, or kind of just trips himself to kind of get the card and get the call. And it's an absolute disgrace that VAR didn't even look at this challenge. And like I said, you can clearly see that the Udinese player trips himself on purpose to get this call, and ironically we actually got a bit lucky from VAR because they helped us out obviously in the end with that offside goal. And if this player cut his toenails at halftime, Udinese would have walked out of the San Siro with a point. But before the red card, Milan actually looked pretty good in my opinion, and it's really a breath of fresh air to have a coach who instills proper tactics and patterns of play. And we did extremely well to keep a clean sheet for over 70 minutes against an Udinese team who, quite frankly, always gives us trouble. And to be completely honest, they've been playing pretty good this season as well. And I also want to tip my hat to the defense because it was a brand new defense. Tereciano got a chance, wasn't caught out too many times, but I was pleased with how he played. Obviously, Pavlovic once again kind of found himself out of position at times, but I think he was also a little bit erratic, but I was overall happy with his output. and the return of Malik Tiao, which overall I was happy about, because for me, and I think a lot of us fans, we felt that he was quite literally exiled from the team, and making some pretty crucial tackles here and there, but also Mike Maignan comes up with some big saves as well. And I think we're starting to see the Mike Maignan from the Scudetto winning season. Obviously that was the best Mike Maignan hands down that we've seen in a Milan shirt. So it's super nice to see Mike Maignan kind of return to that form that we all know and love. So let's go to tops and flops. Top, I'm going to say Fofana, hands down. He was the best player on the pitch, especially when Reinders got sent off, and he really stepped up and covered a lot of ground and a lot of space. And in my opinion, he had his fingerprints all over this game. And especially after that one corner that Milan got, where he was kind of just dribbling out wide and then kicked it against an Udinese player and it went out for a corner kick. So we love to see that. And it's just such a breath of fresh air to see Fofana play well, because after a lot of criticism he had in the beginning of the season, a lot of fans gave up on him super early. And now we're starting to see the benefits of what Fofana can actually do in this midfield. So big shout out to Fofana, and I want to tip my hat to you, my friend. You're the top of the match. Now for flop, I'm going to say Tammy Abraham, because he came on as a sub, missed a golden chance to relieve us of some pressure, and then he got injured as well, and got subbed out. So that's just not good enough for me. And I know, he only came in as a sub, blah, blah, blah. But recently, he's been raising a couple questions, for me at least. And to kind of think if Milan want to buy him from his loan. And to me, so far, he really hasn't been convincing. I know he had a really bright start early on, especially in that Lazio game, getting an assist. But since then, I feel like he's kind of regressed, because I feel like he thinks he's this, kind of big shot in the team. Whereas he just got here, and I feel like the last thing we need is someone to think that they're a big shot in this team. And it's something that Fonseca has definitely had an emphasis on. He doesn't want. Overall, a positive result, and we take home 3 points. And with that win, at the start of the weekend, we were in 6th place. And by the end of it, we jumped to 4th place. And we're now 5 points off of 1st place, with that game versus Napoli still to play. So that is going to be a huge game come soon. And I think that last week loss against Fiorentina was just a hiccup. I feel like there's still a lot of things to kind of be addressed in that game, and I feel like in this game versus Udinese, I feel like all those problems were addressed, and I feel like a lot of things were made clear. And I think that there was a lot of chaos these last couple days, but I believe now, I think that there is order within the locker room and within this team. So before we go, let's talk Champions League. And with a lot of our starters being rested in that game versus Udinese, that being Teo, Leao, Gabbia, and Tomori, and also Reinders only playing 30 minutes versus Udinese, I think we're ready for Club Brugge, and I'm going to predict a big, nice 3-0 win. I think that this team is ready, and I think they have the right attitude going into this game in the Champions League. Obviously, kind of not really having a good start. Obviously, a tough game versus Liverpool at home. Then Bayer Leverkusen, I still don't believe that we deserve to lose that game, because I definitely think we still played pretty good. So I think we have the right attitude going into this Club Brugge game, and I definitely think that we're going to pick up a win, and I think it's going to be a great performance as well. And I think that Leao and Teo are going to come up to this occasion. It's a Champions League night. These are where your best players come up, and I think what better way to kind of make a statement than in this game. So I think they're going to have a good game, and I think that we're going to have a good first win in the Champions League. I think that'll do it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Get involved in the comments. I want to know what you guys have to think about Champions League, about that Udinese game, the arbitration, and everything like that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao ragazzi.